Her name is Verna, and one of the things that Verna does, she loves to pray. I mean, every time I see her, she says she's prayed. One time she prayed for her neighbor, Nathan, passed by his house every day, prayed for him for 7 years. 7 years for him to know God. And last summer, he accepted Christ. Well, one thing she used to love to do, and she doesn't do anymore, is that her and her daughter, Susie, would actually write letters to prisoners in maximum security to give them hope and comfort in the name of Jesus Christ. And so she actually received letters back because she shared this poem that one of her friends, Gary, had said. And this is just about himself, about being a prisoner, locked up maybe for the rest of his life, literally. And this is what he wrote about himself. The evil and the darkness, the bitterness and the hate, the prison walls around me seemed to be my fate. My world was constant turmoil, and I lived my life in shame. Seemed the whole world was against me, but I was surely not to blame. Then I bowed my head one morning. I felt the need to pray. I asked him, meaning Jesus, to forgive me and take the emptiness away. The prayer came so easy when I made my start. I have his presence since then, and he came into my heart. The devil lost one more battle as I regained my soul. Now Jesus is number one with me, and there's no way that I'll let go. I think it was kind of interesting that when Jesus was crucified, he had a thief, one on his right, one on his left. I made sure I had the right and the left. Nevertheless, regardless of my right or my left, he had two people that's crucified with him. They were both condemned to die. They were both thieves, they were both criminals. They had both committed, everybody knows what crime is. They had broken the crime, and so they had the punishment for the crime. And that was going to be death. And one thing Vernon would always talk about is that a lot of people, they would always look down on people who are incarcerated in our society. Well, yes, that's just our culture. And when somebody commits a crime, is incarcerated for a long, long time, even the rest of their lives, they're on the bottom, or near the bottom, or under the bottom of our society, and they deserve to be looked down, and that's what our culture talks about. And so Vernon would say, when people would write letters sometimes talking about God, that they would actually look down on them. And they're like, what good is that? How helpful is that? It kind of reminds me of that Pharisee and the tax collector who went to the temple to pray. And the Pharisee went up to the front, and I've done this sermon before here, went up to the front, looked up, and said, God, I thank you that I'm not like this tax collector, actually over there, he prayed in the back,